everyone, and welcome back to the Alizee show. I'm your host, Alizee, and today I'm joined by Corterrius Allen, aka DaCakeGoat, contestant from hit Netflix show Is It Cake 2 and Halloween Wars. How are you doing, Corterrius?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm so happy that you're here too, because I'll tell you a little secret. You were the one that I was rooting for in Is It Cake 2. I enjoy the show, and I was rooting for you.
I'm happy to hear that.
Okay, let's do an icebreaker question. What would be your perfect cake?
Honestly, to me, the perfect cake for me is like a regular traditional cake, like buttercream icing with a simple border, traditional border.
What about the flavor? Just like a vanilla cake or cookies and cream
My
or
favorite is cookies and cream. I love cookies and cream cake.
that's what I was going to show you. Right, I was going to show you something. This is from my Instagram account. Follow Big Alizee for everyone else watching. For my birthday earlier this year, I had a special cake made, and it was cookies and cream. I'll send you like a proper picture later, but I was just like cookies and cream, and that's Keanu Reeves. Like it wasn't a picture of me; it was Keanu Reeves, and the cake people the cake people, because I tagged them on Instagram and they messaged me and they were like, we have to know like why Keanu Reeves on your birthday cake. And I was like, I just really like him.
I like that.
It was nice though. So you're from Mississippi, right?
Yes, I'm from the Mississippi Delta, small town called Shelby.
So what's that like? Because it's funny, growing up in the UK, America is such a culture shock for someone like me, even though like all of our media over here is American. I grew up reading Stephen King. We get all these American TV shows. We grew up watching Friends. But what's it like growing up in Mississippi?
Growing up in Mississippi, especially in the Mississippi Delta, is like small town. You know everyone. So like growing up, I always used to go outside and like just play with the other kids in the neighborhood. It's really not much for us to do. So that's what like everyday life was like, where everyday life is like here in Mississippi. It's like not many activities. You have to make fun.
That was the same with my hometown, because it's kind of like southwest England in the countryside area. I never thought much of it growing up. It wasn't those. Okay, this isn't a good point of cultural reference. There was a big Tesco's, and Tesco's, I guess, is similar to like a Walmart or a Target. So there was just like a big Tesco's, and that's it. And you have to go to the neighboring towns to go like watch the cinema or whatever.
Yes.
So it was the same, like small town vibes, but Southwest England. And I don't know, like I didn't really appreciate it growing up. And then I moved to London for a few years, and I was like, wow, I grew up around so much countryside, and I never appreciated it. It was
Right.
like the kind of dichotomy between the two. I prefer it. I prefer that that's where it came from. How about you?
It's pretty much the same. Like here, even when we're like going to go grocery shopping, we have to go to like a neighboring town just to get things that are like that we actually need. We have small stores here, but it's not like a grocery store.
Yeah, I'm imagining like, because honestly, I read so much Stephen King. Have you ever read any Stephen King?
I haven't. I haven't.
He's always kind of, a lot of his stories, I guess, are set in like small towns, but it's Maine. Maine, I don't know where that is, but I know that it's in Maine, and it's kind of small town. There's like mom and pop grocery
Oh,
stores. I don't know what that means, mom and pop grocery stores, but I know that that's a thing.
I don't. I'm not. I don't even know what that
Maybe it's like a main thing then, mom and pop.
is.
So why baking? When did you get into baking?
So I got into baking. I started working at a bake shop here, where in Mississippi. Um, I started off as a buttercream maker and a dishwasher. So I
Mm.
was doing that for a few years. I mean, maybe a year or so, because I was in high school and I just wanted a job. So as I got ready to go off to college, I went off to college and I just started baking cupcakes, for the people in my neighborhood. Then I took it over to the college campus and I just started selling cupcakes on campus. Then one day someone asked me if I could make a cake, and then I just tapped into cake. I wasn't even sure if I can do the order that they wanted me to do.
Did you have to learn like a lot on the go then? If someone randomly is like, "Hey, can you make me a cake?" Were you just like, "Yep,
Yes.
I'm gonna do it,"
I
and trial
started
and
off.
error?
Yes, I started off with like literally two cupcake pans. I didn't have any cake pans. I didn't know the first thing about, trying to put out orders or anything like that. I used to always have to go to the grocery store and get things one at a time because I didn't have the things like in the books.
Mm. So were you like the cake guy on campus?
Yes, I was known as the cake guy.
And you turned that into like a little side hustle, didn't you? You started then getting into baking cakes, right?
It helped me get through college. I just didn't want to be like the typical broke college student. I wanted to have funds to do what I needed to do on campus.
That's awesome. Um, so then, I can bake a cake, sure. Like I can bake cakes, but then to go from baking cakes to creating cake art, how did you get into that? Was it that I don't know, did you want to test yourself? Is it a skill set? You obviously built it up over time, but what led you in that direction?
I just always been like the type of person that like to like challenge myself. I wasn't sure if I knew how to do the cake, so it was basically like trial and error.
Mm.
So I like mess up and then I start over and just do it all over again. So it was definitely trial and error the entire time when I first started.
Interesting. Are you any good at art? Painting, drawing?
I cannot paint, I can't draw, and I can't write.
Really?
I just always have like this creative mind where I know how to put things together to make it look nice.
Oh, that's cool. That's kind of like when people do what's it called? Like feng shui, where they like put a lamp in a corner and it has to be opposite another lamp and it's like feng shui. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. That's so funny.
What did you study at university then?
I got my associate's degree from Kahoma Community College in Clarksdale, and I got my bachelor's, my BSW social work from Mississippi Valley State University. And I just graduated in May.
Oops, we cut out for a second then. I don't know why. Well, congratulations though. Well done on finishing graduating university. Like that's a huge deal.
Yes, thank you. I was so excited about that. I was like, it's been a long 4 years.
That's so long. I'm so a bit of me's jealous because I never went to university over here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I kind of knew that I wouldn't really do the learning side of it if I went to university. So I thought, and now I'm a bit older. I'm kind of
It's definitely no distraction. You can get distracted easily at a university.
exactly. You have to really know what you want to do. And you said that did you have a degree in social work?
Yes.
That's quite different from cake making. How come social work?
In the beginning, when I was a senior in high school, I just did not know what I wanted to do. So I was like, I think I like helping people. So I went over to social work and I was like, okay, a cake artist, social worker. I kind of tied the two together. I was like, I like putting a smile on people's face. So I might as well just tie in social work with cake decorating. And we're going to call it Caking Your Problems Away.
That's amazing. No, I love that. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so you've just graduated university, but you were in university whilst you were on, is it Cake 2?
Yes.
So what happened there? Because I'm assuming, is it Cake 2? Was that the first TV work you'd done?
No, I was a part of Halloween Wars, season 11 Halloween Wars. That was my first time ever coming to the TV stream.
Ah, yes, because I know you've been on Halloween Wars, and I was trying to. It's on the Food Network, and I was trying to look it up and look at the season that you were in, but for some reason I couldn't. Maybe I couldn't access it because I'm in the UK. I don't know. But
Yes,
what was
season 11, but it's so many seasons, so it's like I guess easily forgotten.
so? What happened there? What was the process? Did you apply to be on the show? Did they reach out to you? Which came first?
So as I was growing in my business, and people started to see that I was like kind of setting myself apart from other cake artists in the area. So people was just like, you should go and try out for the TV shows and compete. I was like, compete? I don't think so. Cause I was still a newbie. Like even now I'm just 4 years into cake decorating. So I went on the internet. I was like, competition for cake artists. And so I stumbled up on like this casting company site, and I applied to be a part of the show. And I just started to get like these calls, and it just kept saying that I was moving up in the casting process. So I was like, okay, I think I believe it, but maybe I don't believe it, because it kind of seemed like a scam, because I did apply for it on the internet. And so like I finally talked to someone, actually talked to a person versus like receiving these messages in email. And it was like a long process.
Yeah, it takes
The
ages, doesn't
process,
it?
yes, it does. It takes a long time. Like I went through a casting, an interview. It was just a whole bunch of interviewing.
Did you have the interviews in person, or was it all
They were all
well?
like Zoom calls, Zoom interviews.
Hmm. Hmm. And then you were picked. And then what happened from there? Where did they film Halloween Wars?
Halloween Wars was filmed in Utah.
How far away is Utah from Mississippi?
24 hours, 23 hours, or something like that. It's a long ways, way on the other side of the map.
So what
So
was
when I
that?
got to say
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
was on I literally jumped up. I ran around the house. I was like, I'm gonna be on TV. I was so excited about it. But as the time came, I was getting nervous, and I was getting more nervous. But then I finally sucked it up. I was like, I'm gonna get on the plane. I'm gonna go get a competition my own. Whatever the outcome be, it's still an accomplishment, because I made it on the show.
And what's that like when you're there, you're in the studio? So Halloween was like I said, I didn't get to watch yours, but I did see some clips on YouTube. And the ones I watched, they were making some, what's it called? The Addams Family cakes, and they were in groups of three, but I don't know, what was it like your experience?
Okay, well, my experience when I first got in like the studio, it was like nerve wracking. It was so many lights, and it was just this huge, like just scenery of Halloween stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I think someone's gonna jump out and get me. So as I looked around, I started to see like the other competitors. And I was like, they look so familiar. I seen them on these shows, because I was on a show with people who had participated in older shows. So they looked familiar. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in for a rude awakening. I'm so nervous.
Were you quite starstruck?
I was starstruck by one lady. Her name is Kim. She's actually my friend, and we actually talk on it. So we talk from time to time. I was so nervous because she is an artist. Like she an artist. She's so good at what she do. And I was like, oh my God, I'm up against her. I might as well just go and pack my bags and go home.
But that's something though, you're new to this industry, and yet you've managed to get on a show with someone that you really look up to. So that must say quite a lot about your capabilities.
Yeah, it does say a lot. Like I didn't let my nerve take over me. I was only able to do what I know how to do. I couldn't I couldn't, take their skills and just say like I'm this and I'm that. I couldn't do that. I just could only perform what I was set out to do.
And how did you do on Halloween Wars?
The team that I was in a team of three. I was teamed up
Mhm.
with her name is Holly Webster, and she's from Las Vegas, and I was teamed up with Amy Strickland. She's from Florida. So our team made it pretty far in the competition. I think we was like one episode away from the finale, or 2 episodes away from the finale.
Oh, that's
So we
really
did
good.
pretty good. Yeah, it was 8 teams, and I think we made it to like the top 4. Yeah. So for me, the goal is every time I go to the competition, I just do not want to be the first one to get eliminated. I was like, I got so much to bring to the table and so much to offer. I can't be the first one to go home.
Oh man, it would be so gutting because there's always got to be a person that's the first one to lose.
Yeah,
But it would
yes.
be like I
It's
don't
so
know,
sad.
I'm too proud. I've got too much pride. I'd be really embarrassed for myself. I wouldn't go back on TV, you know, I'd hide my face.
Yeah, like I'm going to cry from the time that I'm told I'm eliminated to all the way back home on the airplane and everywhere.
So how'd you go from being on Halloween Wars to Is It Cake 2? Did they reach out to you because you'd already been on TV or did you apply again?
So I applied again. It was almost like the same process, but the Is It Cake process was kind of like intense.
Oh yeah?
I Yeah, I'm gonna let you in on the secret. This is my first time feeling this.
Oh, that's
Okay.
spill.
I know. So like at first on Is It Cake, I got an email saying that I didn't make the show. And I was kind of like, my nerves was like so bad. I was just so sad about it. And then I got another call saying that I was picked and it was a mistake and I can come. And I got my plane ticket and everything, and I was just gone. But at first I was just so bummed by it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it
Oh,
at first.
where where did they film Is It Cake 2? Or whereabouts they filmed? Did they film it in LA?
Yes, it was filmed in LA. Is It Cake was filmed in LA.
Had you been to LA before?
No, that was my first time. It was my first time.
Man, was that like a
And
culture shock for you?
definitely a culture shock. And another thing too, the prices there are like so expensive. Everything is expensive there. I was like, I'm not used to this. I'm from Mississippi. We don't have things that expensive. For
Oh,
like a bag of chips is probably like $5.
dude, it's the same in London, right? I went into a Whole Foods in London once and cucumber, like a piece of cucumber was £2.50. So I don't know how maybe that's like $4 for just a stick of cucumber, one stick of cucumber. Like, how good is that cucumber? What do you mean? Is this cucumber gonna like do my
Right.
taxes? What are you talking about? But I've
I
been to
like that.
I've been to LA as well, and well, for me, being British is quite like a culture shock. It was a long time ago, though. It was nice to visit, though. It was nice to go to LA.
Yeah, scenery. It's a lot of things to do there, like the nightlife and just the activities that they have there. It's like it'll take a whole 5 years to do everything.
Oh yeah, because you would have had to have stayed for the process of filming. So did you get to experience quite a lot of LA then?
Yes, I did go to a lot of different things there. It was my first time going to like a Japanese market, and I liked it. I bought me some stuff there.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds great. So when it comes to Is It Cake, what was it like being on set? Because when I'm watching the show and Mikey says, okay, like the people who pass the cake wall, you get to make your cakes. Here's 10 hours. How full on is that to be baking and preparing cakes for 10 hours? Like, what's the process? What's going on?
Oh, it's intense. Like, even if you have to take a break, the time is still rolling. So, like, you cannot stop. Like, as an artist, you like going to be head in, like, I'm not going to the restroom. I'm not about to eat anything. I just got to get this cake finished. It was definitely like a cool process. Like the setup of the set was just so nice. It almost gave like a game show vibes. And I was like,
Mm.
I like this.
But that must be really tiring to doing one thing for 10 hours straight, you know?
What actually the 10 hours go by so fast because you're like
Mm.
constantly working. You're like, I gotta get this done, and then after this is done, I had to get this done. And like the time is like steady going, and 10 hours go by just like that while you're working.
So obviously I know that a lot of things are dramatized for TV, but kind of like every cooking show has that thing where the clock is counting down like 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and people are still scrambling to put stuff together. Is it like that?
Yes, it is. It's very intense. Those last 10 seconds feel like 2 seconds. Like you gotta get this done. Yeah, it's very intense.
So conversely, like on the other side, when you don't win the cake wall, do you have to sit there and watch them make cakes for hours?
Yes, you're sitting there the entire time. You're just going back and forth and you're talking about like what's going on on set. Like it's the same as if you were baking.
That'd be quite tiring too, to have to sit there for 10 hours straight watching people
Of
make
course,
cakes.
as you saw on the show, they
Mm.
have little activities that you can do on the side, just to keep the commentary going. Like even when I got on the trampoline, we had beer pong. It was a lot of different activities going on around just to keep time going.
Would you say, because obviously they're filming for 10 hours, just this baking process, they have to cut that down to a 45-minute or like 1 hour segment. So would you say when you watched it back, like what you saw is authentic to how it was? By that, I mean, I know, right, here's the thing. I've done a bit of extra work myself in the UK for some reality TV shows, and just
Mhm.
like extra, like in the background, right? And they make you sign like social media NDAs beforehand. But the last one I did was 6 or so years ago. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care. But like, and reality TV is different from like a reality cooking show. But the reality TV show that I was on, oh, it was really inauthentic watching it. Like there were producers kind of prompting the person to make facial expressions so they could edit it later on. So that's what I mean by like, is the end result of the show authentic to like your experience as you're going through it?
Yes, it's definitely authentic. And like to see it actually being like edited down, I was like, wow, that's really cool because we literally filmed 10 hours each episode. And like just to see like them cut the whole thing down to like 45 minutes to an hour, I was like, that's amazing. I wish I knew how to do that type of work.
Oh,
Because
that's good to know.
even like to see it, it's things that actually happen. So it's just they edited it down and it made good for TV. And it actually
That's
happens.
yeah, yeah. It does seem quite authentic. It doesn't seem like because as I said, reality TV shows in the UK, like the strict reality kind of I don't know how to explain it. What's the equivalent? Okay, like America has Jersey Shore and The Hills, and those types of reality TV. That's the ones I'm on about in the UK, and they're very prompted. Like it's not scripted, but it kind of is without being
Mhm.
scripted. You get producers kind of
I guess
prompting people.
you put in like situations to react this way and to look a certain way.
Yeah,
So I can get it. I see that.
yeah. But Is It Cake isn't like that. It's just
No. It's because it's like so much going on. Like even let's just say I forgot my cake is in the oven. That's a reaction. So it happened for real. So even with baking, it's so much like it's a science. It's so much like happen while baking and cake decorating, and things don't always go good. So those reactions are like really really real.
yeah. That's good to know. Oh, so I'm sure this is a question that a lot of people think when they're watching it, because I know that I thought this when I was watching it. Hence, I'm going to ask you: all of the cakes that, whether it's the cake wall or the cakes you guys make, do they get eaten at the end? Do like the production get to eat it?
I don't know what happened to the cakes like after after they're cut into and tasted by the judge. I don't know what happens like with them. Maybe they go in the garbage, maybe they're kept or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's a shame because you see like a big cake and
I'm sure they like just trash them, throw them in the garbage.
yeah, which is a shame because like you've all spent so long making these amazing looking cakes. Um,
So this is what I do. Like when I first started baking, I mean, baking my cakes. like on the show, I always like make a little extra so I can kind of taste what the judge is going to taste. And I'm like, okay, it's perfect.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's a great idea.
I have a clip of me like that they put in the show. I was like trying to sneak and eat some of my cake, and the camera picked it up.
Well, so you should. You're the one that's worked hard on this cake.
Right, right. Why not give myself a reward?
Who out of the other contestants were you close with? Do you still speak to any of them?
Yes, we actually have like a group chat. We all stay in contact. And we also, even like when different holiday season come around, of course, we wish each other happy holidays. Also, we put together like these TikTok videos and like recently, I think that they did like a Halloween one, Halloween theme TikTok video where each contestant was able to like put together a hyper realistic cake and show themselves cutting into it, and they combine them all together to make one video.
Oh, that's
So
really
yeah, we're
nice.
all super close. Yeah, we stay in contact throughout our WhatsApp group chat.
That's nice. I like hearing that when you watch shows, and it's nice that you have a because they've
Yeah,
been through it with you.
although I do have my favorite cast members, but okay.
Who's your favorite?
I love Spirit. I love Miko. I love all of them, but I really like I stay in contact the most with Spirit, Miko, and I talk to Elizabeth and Liz. She always give me advice. I can reach out to Liz and she respond right back to me. So those are my favorite. I keep in contact with all of them though.
Yeah, Miko's paintings were awesome because he painted the Mona Lisa for his like final cake, did he? And it looked so good.
Yes, seeing the Mona Lisa in the end, at first I was like super bummed that I got eliminated and I was up against Miko. I was like, well, if Miko was eliminated, I know I couldn't have painted the Mona Lisa, so it kind of worked out. it worked out perfectly.
That's such a good way of thinking about it. I think that's like quite healthy. Because what's it like when you're eliminated?
In this competition, I felt accomplished because I went in there by myself. I didn't have a team. I was all by myself, and I made it pretty far in the competition. So that was a plus for me in itself.
Yeah, and you did amazing. And I think why people like shows like Is It Cake so much is it's so wholesome. There's no forced or manufactured drama. There's no crazy negative stuff going on. It's just people who are really good at decorating and baking cakes, making cakes. I think that's why people really like that's why I like it.
Yeah, and for me, it's always good to like be surrounded by people who do the exact same things that you do. We're just from different cities and towns, and we're all coming together doing one thing that we all love to do, and we have that in common. So it's just good to be surrounded by people who do the same things that you do, go through the same things that you go through, especially with customers. They can be a pain.
We can talk a bit about that if you want to vent. I used to work in hospitality, so like I know customers, the public are the worst. What's Mikey Day like, the host? Because like I remember watching the first season, and in the first few episodes, I was like, I'm not sure about this guy. And then like a switch went in my head, and I was like, oh, actually, I love him. I love him. I love how deadpan he is.
Yeah, he's like so funny. He's so cool. Like he's literally the same on and off camera. And I was like, wow, Mikey Day, he cool. Yeah, he's a good person. Fun to be around. Always telling jokes.
And what's it like when you get the celebrity, the guest judges on? Because that must be like it's quite funny when you think about it, because it's like you're here, you're good at making cakes, and suddenly you've got like Joel McHale is there kind of, do you know what I mean? Like saying stuff about cakes. Like that must be a kind of weird, I would have like an out of body moment. I'd be like, is this my life? This is strange.
I was like, okay, I was sitting on the couch. I was like, don't be starstruck. Don't be starstruck. Just look. But like some of the people that came, I was like, okay, I don't know this person, but I'm still going to clap. So,
I know what you
some
mean.
good as I knew, but then some of them I didn't know. But I was kind of starstruck by Joe McHale. Like it was just so like crazy to see him.
Yeah, I think Spirit was starstruck by Joel McHale as well because she had a little flirt with him.
Yeah, she's so funny. It was like so hilarious. Like I don't think anyone was expecting that from Spirit.
But it's like he's there. When else are you going to talk to him? You might as well tell him that he's handsome.
Yeah, I think she was like, okay, this is my moment.
Are you aware that so on social media with season 2 there was a slight controversy about is it cake? And by controversy I mean like in quotations, like not a huge deal, but there was like some people had a bit of pushback towards because I noticed this when I was watching the show that some contestants, not going to name names, but I think like a lot of people did it at one point or another. They were damaging the decoys because maybe they thought that their cake wasn't looking so good comparing the decoys, so they were damaging them. What's your take on that?
So my take on that is, I mean, it's still like the same to me because like at the end of the day, like even if you damage the decoy, it still is going to be the decoy. Like I don't, as long as you don't do like a major change to it, I can see like maybe playing with like the lighting or something. You know, being able to paint just a little bit to kind of dull something shiny down. I don't know. Yeah, I saw a lot of social media. I was like, oh boy, I got to go through this, but I'm glad that I don't know how to put it. I don't know.
It's funny how like
I don't want to rub the fans the wrong way.
you can say what you like because like some people considered it cheating because I think there was something with I remember there was something where someone melted one of the decoys down a little bit, you know, because I think it was made of plastic. And some people would consider it cheating, some wouldn't. I'm in the category of, well, if it is cheating, the show rules need to say that to the contestants because otherwise, you know, if you think that your cake doesn't look too good compared to the decoy, like you are, if it's not strictly in the rules. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if it is considered
Not
cheating,
considered
then
cheating. Right.
yeah, like I feel like Netflix should have made it very clear, don't mess up with the decoys. If that was the case, I'm kind of like in that category of it, you know.
Right. I can see that. Yeah.
It's a fun, wholesome show about cakes, so it's not the worst controversy for a TV show to go through. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess that controversy is kind of like what makes the shows fun because that makes people want to go and watch it.
Exactly. People talk,
I always
you
try to
know.
see like positive. I always want to have a positive outlook on things. I'm gonna turn
Yeah,
that negative to a positive.
because if people didn't care, then they just wouldn't talk or express their opinions. So they're only expressing their
Right.
opinions because they care, because they like
Right.
the show so much. See, positive.
Yeah. We think alike.
So how has life been since Is It Cake? Did you you know, because it's on Netflix, it's a show watched by so many people. Did you start to get recognized? Did you get more orders with your cake business? What's it been like since?
So like since Is a Cake, everything has changed. Like even when I'm out in public, people's like, "Oh my God, I want to get a picture with you," and I'm still thinking like I'm just this normal cake artist from Shelby, Mississippi. But what really like put me over the top, I was in an airport in Florida, and like a lady, she just kept looking. She was like, "Oh my God, you look so familiar." Then she walked up. She was like, "You are on Is It Cake?" And I was like, "Yes, that's me."
That
So
must
like
be
now
quite
I
nice.
take more pictures with people. But to me, I was just like, I'm regular. But people want to take pictures with me, so I do that. I've been judging competitions. I've been putting out more hyper realistic cake designs than I ever have done in my life. So I'm just going to continue with the hyper realistic thing because I'm known now for is it cake. So that's what I've been up to lately.
Have you got any more TV offers on the horizon?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm kind of like going to, keep putting myself out there, keep applying. But I'm kind of like in a loops with the casting company. Of course, I've done previous shows. So they're going to be, reaching out, telling me what shows do they have available, and maybe I can apply for them that way. So.
And what about your cake business? What's your dream with your cake business?
My dream is to just, I think I want to do like cake content creating for like social media. I want to open up my own cake studio. I just want to be self-made all the way around. As you can see, I even like created my own little t-shirt cake brand thingy. It's supposed to be like an actual cake replica of my hand to say like, is it cake hypnotized by the cake goat? So I'm just, I'm having fun with it right now.
Are you not doing content creation yet?
I have
Online?
been putting some videos on my Instagram, but I want to go like full-fledged, backdrop, lights, camera action. I want it to be like a big thing, like the Cake Goat show, something like that.
Are you not on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. I have some videos out there on TikTok, but I've been like so like inconsistent with like posting on TikTok. It's like crazy. I just been so locked in with Instagram.
You've gotta sort the TikTok out and do TikTok because honestly, well, my job is social media, right? Like I do YouTube and that includes doing a bit of TikTok and Instagram, but TikTok is, I think it's the easiest platform. Sorry to like bore my audience and get a bit nerdy with this, but I think it's the easiest platform for people to blow up as creators because the algorithm on TikTok works properly as opposed to the YouTube algorithm doesn't work very well. People can tick the little bell for notifications, but still might not get notified if you upload videos. It's a bit broken on YouTube, but TikTok, right. You've got to do TikTok, dude. There are people who started. Do you know what? I follow these people on TikTok, and all they do is eat food. Like they just show what they're eating for the day, and they do that every single day. And some of them have 500,000 followers now after a year. You got to do it. You've already been on TV. You got to do TikTok.
I'm going to tap into it just a little bit more. I think my whole problem is I'm like the cake decorator, I'm the baker, I'm the dishwasher, I'm the content creator. I got to edit all my videos.
Yep.
It's a lot on top of managing my whole, personal life.
I know exactly how you feel. Like it is a lot, especially because
I did not mention taking orders too. I take all my orders. The new customers, they just want to have a conversation sometimes. It's a lot. I'm working on trying to get a website built, but it's kind of like hard trying to find someone to do it for you. I tried to do it myself, but it's so complicated.
Yeah, but the more time that you put into it, the more you can expand, and then you can definitely get a bit of extra help, hire someone who can do the admin once your business expands more, obviously. But TikTok, like I follow people who decorate cakes on TikTok. I love it. Like it's called Cake Talk. It's an entire genre. It's Cake Talk.
Okay, I'm gonna have to tap into that. Use the hashtag, maybe.
Oh, dude, I'll send you like the cake. Actually, okay, this is funny. There was a drama and a controversy on Cake Talk a few months ago because this lady, what did she do? She put up, I think she'd made like a vanilla kind of buttercream cake and there was rainbow sprinkles and stuff on the side. And she was complaining. People love TikToks where you complain about customers. People like enjoy that. So that's one idea for you. But this lady, she was complaining about like a customer. And she showed a picture of the cake that she'd made, and all the comments were being like, you charged $100 for this because it did not look very good. It looked like it had fallen over. And it was a whole drama and controversy on like it's all people were talking about on TikTok for a day. It was really funny.
Yeah, I have to put out some stories of my customers because I have plenty. I got plenty stories.
People like that, you know. There's another bakery account I follow, and she's a cake decorator. Like that's her job. I think she works at a store or something, and she just does like so these are all the cakes that I decorated today. Just it's nice content. Like you gotta get on it. I can't stress that enough. Do TikTok.
I'm gonna have to go tap into Cake Top.
I'll send you like all the cake talk things that you that you require. Is there anything you'd like to bring up or maybe anything that you'd like to promote?
I just was like to tell everybody to go follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I'm on Instagram at DaCakeGoat. That's DACAKE Goat, GOAT. And on TikTok, I'm on there as DaCakeGoat, DTHEEEE, three E's, Cake Goat. Somebody took my name. And of course, I'm on Facebook at Corterrius Allen. I'm over there a lot. So if you want to kind of connect with me personally, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Cameo at the Cake Goat. Yeah, I do birthday shout outs, anniversary shout outs, just anything that you want done. I can do that for you over on Cameo.
Have you got some orders on Cameo? Is it worth doing?
Yes, it is. It's worth doing.
Really?
You know, I just set my start price out at like $15. And you know, people pay it and I just say happy birthday, such and such, or whoever. And it works.
That's a good idea. I might have to look into it myself, you know.
I can refer you over to Cameo.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I can refer you.
I'll look into it. I'll look into it. It's funny. There's I'm not gonna name who. There's some like scandalous, controversial politicians from my country, right? Who do Cameo. No, they're like 50 and they're very controversial and they do Cameo. And like they wish people a happy birthday, and it's the weirdest thing. And they get a lot of like weird requests to say strange like memes and stuff. And it's just weird. It's like this person has appeared in Parliament and he's on Cameo.
But you know, the thing about Cameo is the orders, they like when people want you to do like a shout out, the orders keep rolling in. So you had to keep making videos. You have to learn kind of what they want you to say, but it does appear on the screen but it's like so hard because I have so many different takes. I be like, I just forget what to say sometimes.
Oh, bless. So people can find you on Instagram, Facebook, and hopefully TikTok. Yeah, promise me that.
Yeah, TikTok.
Awesome.
I'm on there at DaCakeGoat. I have some recent kind of videos, but they didn't do as good because, like I said, I've been kind of inconsistent with it. Like one video that I recently posted, I think it had got like 300 and something likes, but I'm over there on TikTok.
Yes, it's very important to be very consistent with TikTok. I should do like what I say because I'm not consistent with it, but yeah, definitely worth doing. 100%, especially cake creating. I'll follow you over there. I love watching people make cakes. One question for me, actually. Your cake and cake creation, do you have any experience doing like dairy-free, vegan, those types of cakes?
I do not have any experience with doing dairy-free or vegan cakes. That's something I would like to learn because there are people out there, you know, who are vegan and I guess you can say, you know, dairy-free, they don't do dairy.
Yeah.
I would like to tap into that and try to figure that out. Try to substitute some ingredients to, you know, I don't know how it works. I have to tap into that.
Okay, awesome. Good. Just for me to know, you know, because if I'm ever in Mississippi, I would quite like a vegan cake.
Well, if you're ever in Mississippi, you let me know. We can hang out. We can go to the fun spot.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been delightful. I was honestly like the first episode of Is It Cake to season 2, I was rooting for you. So it's nice. This is the best part of my career that I get to invite people that I like onto my show without even knowing them. It's great.
I'm glad we had the opportunity to finally come on and talk.
Yeah, awesome. And everyone else, thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Spotify and iTunes. Give me 5 stars on Spotify because I need a Spotify brand deal. I need that Spotify deal, you know. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.